Acceptable?
Very acceptable.
Very good. On this swing, I want you to, I want the camera to see you keeping your spine angle steady and stable. So this is for the camera. Good. Was it a good shot?
Perfect. Maybe.
Now with the driver, we want more rotation. We want the flatter, the inside on that backswing. Really rotate well.
That went all the way past the hill.
So with your driver, we just need to make sure our backswing has that little flatter plane, swing plane, as it should, because it's a longer club. It's set up at address flatter.
Now that was a loop. I felt that on the downswing.
On the downswing, you drop. Yes, exactly right. Now you got to the top with a really good backswing. Your club got to parallel, but let's bump that left hip to the left side so that you don't do the loop. Good. Bad golf ball, but a good hit. Ginny, the picture on the left is your setup at address. You have not begun your golf swing. The picture on the right is you at impact. You're actually making contact with the ball at that same moment. Ideally, we'd like to see the lower body turn more to the target at that impact position. The blue arrow is your spine angle, and you can see how you lift it up a little bit as you approach the ball at impact. So you added about 10 degrees of lift. The yellow arrow shows the same spine angle that you started with on the left, and the blue arrow is the spine angle that you hit with. So you did lift a little bit. A lot of that comes from the loop that you do your laid off loop and you drop it down and low. You have to create a little bit of more room for the club head to come into the golf ball. And so lifting became a necessary thing that you had to do. This is Lydia Coe hitting a driver. The blue arrows are spine angle. The red arrow is right above her head. As she comes back, she'll maintain that spine angle and she'll keep her head below the red line. As she comes down and through, watch how she will turn her hips, and you'll see that back foot start to lift off the ground before she gets to the golf ball. So when she gets to impact, that blue arrow is still kind of right on the center of her spine, and it's still at the same angle, but she's rotated around that spine angle, and she kept her head below the red line until the very end of the swing. Let's look at it again. The red arrow is pointing to the little scorecard book that she has in her back pocket. And you're going to see that kind of tells you how much her hips have rotated, because now that book has moved way over to the side there. So her back foot is off the ground, and that scorecard book has moved all the way there because she's rotated her hips toward the target. Her belly button is almost at the target. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to look just like Lydia, that you're going to have the range of motion that she does. But if we can just get your lower body to move a little bit more on the downswing, let it start the downswing. That'll help you keep that club on plane on the downswing. It'll help prevent the loop, and it'll certainly give you more power. I want to look at just one more thing here. On the left is you doing a little rehearsal move, thinking about the early wrist hinge. And when your left arm is parallel to the ground, you can see how your club is already straight up in the air and at a right angle there. On the right was your actual golf swing, the start of the swing at the golf ball. And you can see how you get a little bit laid off when your left arm is parallel to the ground. So When you think about the early wrist hinge, you actually keep your club shaft more on plane and on the same plane that you started. You get a little bit below that plane when you don't hinge the wrist. You end up rotating the forearms in your backswing instead of hinging the wrist up, and that gets the laid off position. This is Lydia at the 3 position. She has that right angle with the shaft and left arm. And you delay the wrist hinge, and you don't really have the wrist hinge at all. You're basically rotating the forearms, which gives you that laid off position. As we go up to the top of the backswing, you're in a pretty good position there in terms of the lower body. Both feet are flat on the ground, ready to move to the left. And you'll see how Lydia drives to the left. You're going to see that right knee, right hip. She's off her back foot and staying behind the golf ball through impact. And your downswing is all upper body, not a lot of lower body. You don't necessarily have to move more than you are now, but start moving the lower body sooner than you do now.